Keith Rubino is running for the 118th Assembly District. Keith Rubino is running for the 118th Assembly District. He is the Herkimer County guy, right, for Mark Butler's district. He's a Democrat, and he's facing Robert Smullen. There's a story out that on Wednesday night in Niskayuna Court, he, of course, his opponent, Smullen, was charged with filing a false, whatever the whole official charge is. Either way, it's a potential felony. It has now been referred to the grand jury, and we wanted to get Keith Rubino's take on that. He's on the line right now. Keith, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. So your take on that? Do you comment on it? Do you go anywhere with it?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously understand the case has now been referred to a grand jury to determine my opponent's, guilt or innocence. And, I issued a statement last night.
That's really not what the grand jury does, but anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, it determines the validity of the charges from what I understand.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I wrote a statement last night, and I kind of stick by that. I believe that, my opponent and everyone has the right to due process. As far as this goes, it is a matter of, not public opinion and debate. He's innocent until proven guilty. So I do think that, should my opponent be found guilty by a court of law, obviously that would be something to, pursue at that point. But right now, I'd prefer to focus on the issues until the court either finds him guilty or not guilty.
By the time he's found guilty or not guilty, if that even gets to that point, that wouldn't come until next year, after this whole election is over. So, but it's worth noting that if the grand jury, so the grand jury is going to have two options here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Option is number one is they don't indict. Option number two is they indict. If they were to indict, that probably will happen within the next couple of weeks, or throw it out. You realize that if that were to happen, your opponent would be facing a felony trial.
Mm-hmm. And
in New York State, if you were ever convicted of a felony, you could not serve. I mean, it's a really, I don't know how we can ignore that. Obviously, if it goes before the grand jury and it just gets thrown out, then it's all over with. It wasn't worthy of taking to trial.
And that's one of the reasons why, again, I have stood my ground so much in terms of trying to make sure that people know, I have nothing more to add than the court of law could. So, that's why I stick to the idea that, I really do want to focus on the issues. Because, Bill, we talked about this a couple days ago, but, I want to win. I just don't want to win running a negative campaign, attacking something that may ultimately get dismissed. I will be the first to stand up and say, this is something that's, obviously very troubling to me if it comes out that, the case actually goes forward. But I just don't want to speculate or do something that angers voters because I'm not focusing on who I am as a candidate or what the issues are in the 118th district.
Okay. And what are those issues, by the way?
Focusing on veterans, taking care of veterans, economic development, infrastructure repair, like, fixing our cell phone and internet coverage, working to get more funding for school districts. The formula in certain areas is a little mixed up. And, working on legalizing marijuana on a recreational and medicinal scale.
Okay.
And also the New York Safe Act. I keep talking about that. I keep hearing it all over the district. I just have to keep reminding people that I have looked through the 10 provisions that are in the SAFE Act, and, there are things that definitely are infringing upon upstate New York and the North Country's rights in terms of gun restrictions.
Okay, but not on anybody like down in maybe Long Island or that area?
The law was definitely written with some of those people in mind, and a lot of it is policing the people up here that already responsibly have done that for ages. So
what elements of the SAFE Act in particular do you have a problem with?
In this area, it's definitely gun customization. At one point before the SAFE Act, people had a gun and they were able to add a customization to that, different kind of things. And something as simple as a grip, a grip that makes the gun able to be operated in a safe manner and a comfortable manner for somebody who's out hunting for extended periods of time. Then
you're talking about the hand grip there, that you'd be able to put that hand grip there,
and a lot of different customizations. I mean, there are customizations that are now illegal that are basically kind of on the scale of the federal level, where heroin is in the same classification as marijuana, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. The fact that certain grips are in the same classification as a grenade launcher or
a bump stock.
Flash muzzle suppressor.
And you'd like to allow the grip, for instance, the customization. You'd like to allow that upstate and not downstate.
Yeah, that's why I think that there needs to be legislation that's passed that focuses on both parts of our area, because a lot of people talk about it. We are different. We are an entirely different culture. So it would be nice to write legislation that includes all of New York State, not blanket sweeps New York State.
Okay, all right. What elements of the you said there are some areas that the funding is not really up to snuff when it comes to schools. What in particular?
So I'm actually going to be talking to one of the one of the board members of the Johnstown School District today.
Okay.
But there is an educational funding formula that is done to determine what school districts receive what kind of money. Now, the problem is that, of course, our areas are getting less and less funding, and the funding formula seems to favor districts with higher population counts, which makes sense because obviously those districts have a lot of people. But my ultimate goal in talking about issues is that we need to help our struggling areas get off the ground. I mean, government needs to help those areas in order for the entire state to become better. Okay. So if we can fix those small areas like the rural parts of the district and get the money into those districts, we can help our communities become self-sustaining.
The jail. What do you think about the jail?
I mean, geez, does it matter anymore? I've given my opinion for a year and a half, and they're going ahead anyway. I hope that they.
So you're against the jail going at the Nichols PNC Plaza there.
Yeah, I'm against the jail in general. I mean, we did the numbers, we cracked the numbers. We didn't think it was viable, but I mean, there was 50 people in that room, Bill. I mean, 50 plus people that came that one night during the public forum, and everybody was like, "Please don't do this. Please don't build this jail." I would not like this jail built, and yet they said, "Okay, thank you for your opinions. We're gonna go ahead and build that jail." So I mean, it was kind of just. It was insulting, but I understand that, the process is the way it is. And so I just hope that they don't waste any more taxpayer dollars and they get it started at this point.
Well, it's already started. I mean,
bids are out.
Yeah, it's already pretty much done. Okay. Anything you want to add, John?
I just don't. It just doesn't make sense to me on the numbers for the jail, Keith, that it is more cost efficient to not build the jail and for eternity to farm out your prisoner operations, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Your inmates to Oneida County and surrounding counties.
You think that's the case?
Yeah. I want to see a better solution in the long term, but it was definitely a more sustainable and cheaper model to farm out inmates for at least 5 to 10 years, if not more. And I really want us to explore more systemic causes. What's the root cause of why we are sending these people to jail?
Why are people
and
going
find
to jail?
Out.
That's a deep question.
Yeah. But
why are they going to jail?
If you pushed off construction 5 to 10 years, you'd still have to pay it. And in the meantime, you'd still be paying the transportation and housing costs to
think of the environmental impact.
I want your opinion on this. Billy Crystal just said that he doesn't understand why baseball players thank God after hitting a home run, but they don't give him any credit when they strike out. I think that's a very interesting question when you think about it.
Say it again?
Nah, it's not worth it. Anybody have anything else? All right, Keith, a little fun there, having a little fun. Listen, we wish you the best, and let's see what comes out of all of this. But listen, you're on the ballot, you're the Democrat, and let's see what happens. We have offered Mr. Smullen extended an invite to debate you here on this program, and we hope you take advantage of that. Would you do that? Would you do that?
I am looking forward to that. I will 100% do that.
Okay, so you have accepted a debate with Mr. Smullen here in studio.
Yes.
All
And,
right.
you know, my opponent has mentioned all throughout the primary that he's ready to debate whenever. And, you know, I would like to hold him to that, because we had a debate at Fulton Montgomery Community College, and it was a very good debate, but the League of Women Voters who sponsored it, unfortunately, did not record the debate, as far as I know. I'm still looking into that to see if there's anything.
No one recorded it.
No history of it.
Yeah.
So I started.
Hey, if a tree falls in the forest, nobody hears it.
If a debate happens,
that never happened, man.
Yeah, I know. And we got 80,000 people in this district, and I had at least 40 people message me that day wanting the link to watch it. And
I want to watch.
I'm sure. Yeah, we're in the 21st century. You know, we just got to make sure that things are recorded. So absolutely want to come on your show to debate, and I look forward to it.
All right, we promise we'll record it.
Okay,
thanks, man. All right, Keith.
Bye, guys.
Manaski was actually at that debate, by the way.